Hello, today I'm going to be teaching you how to properly assemble a saxophone as well as some basic maintenance. Okay, so the first thing you want to do every day during band or whenever it is that you play saxophone or whatever ensemble you're in is to take out your reed and put it in your mouth. Now a good saxophone player always has the reed inside a protective plastic case. The reeds are very delicate. You don't want it to get damaged inside your case. So take it out. You want to put the thin part of the reed inside your mouth and let it soak while you put the saxophone together. Let it gently rest on your tongue. And move it up and down a little bit. So what we want to do now, when we have the reed in our mouth, is to take the mouthpiece and the ligature. Another characteristic of a good saxophone player is that he or she has a protective case around the actual mouthpiece, right? Because this is another important part of the saxophone, and you want it to be as protected as possible. So now we take the ligature off. And we're going to put the reed on top of the part of the mouthpiece that has this opening right here, this hole. You want to take the reed, you want to take the flat side of the reed. There's the side that goes from thin to thick, and there's the side that's completely flat. That's the side that you want to put on top of this hole. Now using your left thumb, you're going to keep the reed in place. Like that. Now the height of the reed has to be just barely poking over the top right here. You want maybe a short thumbnail's length to be poking over that mouthpiece. So just line it up right here. Should be good. Then, as I mentioned earlier, you just hold it in place with your left thumb. Now it's time to put the ligature on. When you're putting the ligature on, you want these screws to be pointed to your right. That is a hard and fast rule. The screws always point to your right when facing you. There's also a slightly bigger part of the ligature that goes on first. However, if you have the screws pointing to the right, shouldn't be an issue. So now, keeping that reed in place with our left thumb, we slide the ligature on. And at this point you might have to make some adjustments to your reed. See how it tilted off to the side like that? Just go ahead and kind of finagle it back into place. If you need to lift the ligature up, that's fine. Okay. The ligature, at first, should be loose enough so that it comes all the way down past this slope right here. That's an ideal place for the ligature to be. Once it's there, gently tighten the screws, one by one, until the reed is firmly in place. You don't want it to be too tight, but you definitely want to feel like it's not going anywhere. Okay, looks pretty good. So now we take the neck. This is the neck of the saxophone. This guy right here is called the octave key. It's a gentle piece of equipment, so be careful with it when you're putting the mouthpiece onto the neck. The mouthpiece slides onto the corked part of the neck. With your right hand, take the neck. With your left hand, take the mouthpiece. Get a firm but not too tight grip on the neck, and then twist the mouthpiece onto the neck. You might have to use a little bit of force, but be very careful when doing this. Alright, there we go. Last but not least is the body of the saxophone. A very important thing about picking up the saxophone is that you always want to pick it up from the bell. There are a lot of delicate and expensive keys on this thing. The bell is the sturdiest part of the saxophone, so that's where you want to grab it. So now if we look at the top of the saxophone, the head, you can see that there's a screw right here which can tighten and loosen. You want to get it nice and loose when you put the neck on. Gently twist it in there. Oh, you also want to get your neck strap on. To get the neck strap on, take the saxophone and put it on your left knee, just like this, so that it's pointed to your right. You want the mouthpiece to be on your right side. Take your neck strap, put it over your neck. And now if you look at this little hook, you'll notice there's a small ring right here that you want it to go on. It's real simple. Just take the hook, boom, hooks right on. An important thing you might want to think about, or you do want to think about, when having a neck strap on, is that you want the saxophone to meet your mouth. You don't want to have it so far out that you have to lean forward to play. You don't want to have it too close, because that's just uncomfortable. So you can adjust accordingly. Remember, putting the bell on my respective knee, making sure that the under part, the curved part, is resting safely on my knee. You can take the buckle part of the strap, and holding it with your left hand, you can adjust the strap with your right hand. You can go up, or you can go down. Find a position that's good for you. So once you have the neck piece, take that screw that we mentioned earlier, give it a few twists so that it can tighten. And there you go. Saxophone's ready to play. Now, basic maintenance of the saxophone. One thing that is commonly overlooked is brushing your teeth. Your teeth and your mouth should be nice and clean before you play. Most brass players are told this, and I'm sure a lot of woodwind players are told this as well. You want to make sure that your mouth is nice and clean so you're not spitting any nasty stuff into your horn. You also want to make sure that you are swabbing each part of your horn after each play. When you take the neck off, put a swab through there. When you're done playing, put a swab down through the body and up out of the bell. Woodwinds gather a lot of moisture, and you want to make sure that it's staying as dry as possible. Like I said, always, if you are handling the saxophone in an unusual way, always have it by the bell. If a key breaks off, bring it to your teacher. He or she will know what to do. Same thing with sticky pads. Although if you have sticky pads, then at that point it might be time for a cleaning. So thank you for listening. Go forth and play well.